Good morning, everybody. This is your boy D Mack, and hey, let's talk. I have a special guest on with us this morning. I have Coach Dwyan Luckey from Mississippi Valley State. Let him know a little bit about yourself, Coach Luckey.
Oh man, just a little bit about me. This is going into my 11th year coaching football. I spent 9 years at the college level, two at the high school level. Well, I spent 8 years. This will be my ninth year at the college level. From Concord, North Carolina. And I'm a guy that just always been persistent, never gave up on my dreams and aspiration. So I knew this when I was a young boy that I wanted to get into coaching, and I'm here, man. I make a lot of sacrifices. I got a wonderful family. I got two little girls at home, um, and so I'm definitely uh, appreciative of the sacrifices that they make for me to be able to live out my dreams. And and it's always good to be around family. Coon, I've been knowing you since I was 6, 7 years old when you first came into our family. So
Yeah,
man, you watch me grow from a pup, and not a lot of people get a chance to watch me on national TV sometimes.
yeah, man. I know it's exciting for me, man, because like you said, I've known you since you was little, man, and I've seen in you the leadership qualities as you've grown and developed into a man. And I definitely was looking for a good opportunity to finally get you on here. We finally made it happen, man. And I just want to talk a little bit about, young black men in coaching right now because I'm starting to see an influx of black coaches on the rise. And I want to give you guys your flowers while you're here and while you're doing things, just encouraging you guys to keep it going because this is exactly what we need. So the first thing I want to ask was, how hard was it to get back to some type of normalcy after the whole COVID protocol and everything?
Oh wow. Normalcy. I think right now, I mean, it feels good for us as a whole as college coaches. Just a little normalcy, just being able to go out to camps and see those kids and be able to just really surround ourselves with other coaches. I mean, I think that's been a tremendous deal for a lot of coaches. I also believe it depends on your school or how normal your campus is going to be and what it's going to look like. I think everybody's trying to take the safest protocol to make sure that their athletes are safe. I know us at Mississippi Valley, we're gonna get back to normal here in July when our kids get on campus. Still trying to follow the protocols that's been placed by our university and also by our head coach to make sure that our kids have been safety. So it's gonna look a little normal, but we still gonna have protocol to ensure the safety of our athletes.
Okay, cool, good deal. So you right down there in Itabena, right?
Yeah, it's little Edabina, man, the home of Jerry Rice and Satellite Tot.
Yeah, my wife is from right down the road in Rolling Fork, man. So we was talking about it last night. She was
Okay.
telling me about it to and she said she couldn't stand going down there. But but yeah, man. I noticed the other day, man, y'all had Terrell Owens out there running drills with you guys, man. How did that come about?
Well, okay, so Dion invited everybody up to his camp, and me being the recruiting coordinator at Mississippi Valley, that's one of the camps that I have marked on my list. We went as a staff. I was a bunch of college coaches, that was around the country that came in to see it. And so Dion, what he did was he had the NFL players running drills, and I
Hmm.
thought it was excellent for a guy like To to be there, you know, to help develop the young kids. I mean,
Yeah.
I so like I said, I went through To routing people. The one young cornerback from C named CJ Holmes was going to be a good player for Jackson State, and the other players, man, he from Jackson State, they're all pretty good and stuff like that. ATO, man. I didn't even drop one of the drill tapes that I had. You know, if you was on my Snapchat, you would have seen the drill. But man,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he still got it. But he's been around like, yeah, D'Angelo Hall, Jimmy Smith. I remember I called Natron when I was at the camp. The camp was well worth it, man. You had a lot of junior college prospects. You had a lot of high school prospects. I think it was one of the number one players in the country was there. So it was definitely a lot of prospects there. It was well worth it for all the college coaches that was there, because it was also got a chance to just talk to guys in your conference, but also rub elbows with a lot of head coaches. So it was definitely a great experience, and it's something I look forward to doing next year again.
Good deal, man. Yeah, those camps are very, very important, man. So as I noticed, you said you was the recruiting coach. So what are some of the challenges in recruiting for you right now?
It's limited resources. So when you don't have the resources, like follow me on Twitter at Coach D Luckey, you'll understand that I got a large following base. So we try to do creative ways to make ourselves active on Twitter or social media, so it tests you how good of a recruiter you are being at Mississippi Valley. But other than that, I mean, it's just as normal as any other school. During the COVID pandemic, I had to head up official visits, but I had to do them on Zoom calls. So I had to team up with admissions. I had to team up with financial aid. Do different things that any other school had to do during the pandemic. So it was fairly easy, because I'm a fairly competitive guy, and I always want to make sure that I'm in the best possible position while I hold the recruiting coordinator title and do everything within the realms of what our university is capable of allowing me to do.
Good deal. So with those Zoom calls, man, do you think it's more effective to be face to face than the Zoom calls?
It's always good to be it's always good to be face to face, because you actually see what a kid look like in person. You really only get a chance to see a kid from the neck down. I mean the neck up
Hmm.
or whatnot on those Zoom calls. But what we did was, Coach Dancy, he just trusted me to to do the Zooms, and so we did breakout sessions, and it felt like it was really at a on campus visit. We had breakout sessions with each position coach, then with the coordinators, offensive, defensive coordinators, and then had one-on-one meetings with the head coach, like it would be if you was at a normal, if you was on a normal visit. So we did everything that that all universities did during the pandemic, and just being able to use the technology the way that we could. And I thought it was excellent, and our head coach really was appreciative, because we were able to sign a lot of quality kids during the two signing periods.
Yeah, okay, good deal, man. So I want to switch gears a little bit, man. There's been a lot of talk about Tim Tebow coming back to Jacksonville to play tight end, and now you have Brandon Jacobs. He's wanting to come back and play defensive end for somebody. What do you think about this, man?
I mean, to me, I think the Tebow deal, I think it just got blown out of proportion. To me, I'm not one to ever try to stop a man's money. I feel like in this industry or whatever you do, I think that was just a connection between him and Urban Meyer. And one thing about this profession, you want to get people around you that you can trust. And obviously, Tim Tebow is a guy
Yeah,
that Urban Meyer feels like he can trust, and like a son to him. That's going to help set the culture of what the Jacksonville Jaguars locker room is. Or, it fit right in. I think he wouldn't have did it no other way. But again, to me, you know, I'm, I'm I'm not at that level. I'm not going to say what I would or wouldn't couldn't do, but I just feel like, just being in that situation, I would personally want to bring a person that I know that could, if bring the spirit of the players, that's good. You know, that would just be like me bringing in Lance Lewis that I played with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
University of Mississippi or Ole Miss would get. So my thing is this: how do we draw attention to these smaller schools like a Mississippi Valley State, who has some great players, who has some great coaches, has pretty much a great program, but they don't get the exposure for it to be seen by the rest of the country because they're overshadowed by a Jackson State with Deion Sanders. They're overshadowed by a Ole Miss, and then you have Brett Favre, who's down there in Laurel, Mississippi, who's running a high school team. So a lot of the attention uh, for schools in Mississippi is geared towards Jackson State, geared towards Ole Miss. So how do you guys go about getting that exposure to get you guys your players that opportunity to be seen and go to the next level?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear. A parent had called me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's all right. Yeah, we were saying, what percentage of your players get to make it to the NFL?
Oh wow, I'm glad you asked that. The percentage of players that make it out of the FCS WAC, just I put it like this: Mississippi Valley had a kid that made it to the NFL a few years ago. His name Brian. He played defensive line. He did a good job. Wasn't a really very uh, standout guy. He's a hard worker, and Brian had the opportunity with the LA Rams, and this was like 3 years ago. Coach Dancy's first year as the head coach, and uh, kid just worked his butt off. I mean, if you work hard, they're gonna find you. The biggest thing too, what the NFL has done is they created an NFL HBCU combine to give
Really?
HBCUs the opportunity to be successful.
Oh, that's awesome, man, because that was one of my issues. I was saying that, you have Jackson State, you have Ole Miss, and these larger schools in Mississippi, they get all of the shine and they get all of the attention. So I know it's kind of hard for the smaller schools to get guys into the league or to get them exposed. So I'm glad you brought that up. That's a really good point that a lot of people need to know because there are people down
Yeah,
there, like I said, in Rolling Fork and surrounding areas, Vicksburg, and all of that. These guys need to know this stuff. So um, I'm definitely gonna put them up on what's going on uh, down in that area as far as college wise, so that they can look at Mississippi Valley State when they look at a Ole Miss or something like that because. Um, Going to the bigger schools is not necessarily the best route for everybody, and Mississippi Valley State got a lot to offer, man. I'm so glad to see you um, growing and progressing, and we're talking about the rise of black coaches in sports. So, how many black coaches are on y'all coaching staff?
um, we have 8 black coaches on our
8.
staff. I think it's 8.
Okay.
Yeah, 8.
Okay.
Yeah, with 2 minorities.
Okay. It says, how big is the classroom with the football field?
Say again.
It says, how big is the classroom with the football field?
The classroom. Well, it depends on your position group. Like I had 7 last year, 7 running backs.
Hmm.
So it just depends. We have a nice classroom. Like the university provides us with a classroom to be able to teach our kids and stuff like that. Just like if you was just a regular college student. So you got the classrooms and stuff like that, auditoriums. So you have the capabilities of all of that. at your disposal. So it's the university does okay with that. Make sure we have classroom. We got good offices. You can go around the country and look at some FCS coaches, and they don't have the offices that we have. I mean, we may not have everything that other schools have, but our university tries to do a good job of taking care of us in other ways.
Okay. So I got a guy right now. This is a hypothetical. So I got a guy right now. He's 16 years old. He's a beast in football. Um, what advice would you give this kid trying to move to the next level, or as far as getting um, getting noticed by a team or a recruit? What would you what as a recruiter? What catches your eye in a player? I should say.
I think the biggest thing for a young kid, let's put it like this. And I've been saying this for a long time, and if parents listen, they'll see what it is. You know, it's only a few select few people in America that God just gave that God given ability where you don't have to work hard. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And for a 15-year-old kid, if he's a dog already, and he's like better than everybody, he's gonna get. It ain't gonna be, it's gonna be easy for him to get seen. Now, if it's just for an average 15-year-old kid that wants to get to the next level, what I tell parents is this: get a personal trainer. All right, get a personal trainer. You spend some money on personal training. Feed, field work, physical conditioning. I mean, physical strength. You know, um, and so that plays a part. So if you got your field work done, and you got your physical strength, all right, and get your speed work, all those three, you have a shot. Parents need to make sure you got to look at your teenage, you got to look at your kids as if they're a business. And it sucks that I have to say it like that, but you have to look at your teenager like that. It's a business, and you want to make sure before you put them kids into camps that they are well equipped to that for exactly like if I put Kuda in a on the 40-yard dash, he gonna run a 4.5. I know that we've been clocking it. That's what he gonna run no lower than a 4.6. You want to
Hmm.
be that detailed with your student athlete. Like a lot of guys that start with their kids when they turn to 13, and
Yeah.
some start early. But you don't want to push the kid away from the game. But again, you gotta do certain things to help out uh, your student athlete. That's the goals, and that's what they want to do. Right now, the NCAA with the grade situation, you gotta have a 2.3 to be able to be a Division I qualifier, which is very low. They're not. You don't have to have a test score right now. Kids could go straight to the Division I programs. So that they can get all the good quality athletes. That's just my opinion on what I think the future is going to be. So I always tell the kid to make sure that your academics is not a problem. So if you can't get a 2.3 core, it's gonna be tough for you, buddy. Unless you just
Okay.
a
So
freaking nature.
okay. So Big J says, will HBCUs play outside of
Conferences
conferences
like Big Ten, Pac-12, and Big 12.
Say that one more time.
He said, well, HBCUs play outside of conferences like Big 10, Pac-12, and Big 12?
Yeah. That's something that happens every year. Those are money games that are where just like any FCS school or whatnot, what they would do is they'll play those games to help their athletic budget to pay for coaches' salary, scholarships, and different things like that.
Okay.
So
So
So we're gonna have guys going straight from high school into that type of league and then into the NFL without college.
Nah, nah. College is out. This ain't the NBA. It's a man's game. I was understanding. It's a man's game. You ain't just going to high school. Like it's very, very seldom. You nah, nah. You ain't. This ain't. It's a man's game at the end of the day. This ain't no. No disrespect to like the Kwame Browns and none of them like that. But they not just going to the NFL. Like you really going. This is different now. That NFL football is okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I remember
different.
how they welcomed Reggie Bush to the league with that hit. I don't think a high school guy is gonna want to take one of those type of hits.
The body's not developed yet.
Yeah,
The body's not
yeah,
developed the way that the college coaches want. And another thing too, man. A lot of people don't understand this too, man. It is so hard for a high school kid to transition to the NFL because the typical high school kid doesn't have the mental capacity. I would believe
hmm
the mental capacity to learn the NFL playbook in
yeah,
a amount of time and understand the criteria it takes to study. You got to learn that through college and different things like that, man. Listen, football is a different beast. NBA, baseball, all of that, man. I would love for my kids to play all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I think you can make it to the NBA with a little talent. You know, you can make it to baseball with a little talent, but that football a little different, man.
yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
have
I
you
agree
gotta
with
have
you
that
on that.
mental. You gotta have that mental, that physical. And that plays a large part into what a lot of people don't understand. The mental capacity that goes in to a football game or preparing for a football game is, and not to say any other sports don't have those issues, but just knowing the playbook, and then you got to account for the other 10 people around you, making sure that they do their job and stuff like that, man. For a play to work, you know,
Yeah, see.
ain't
So
no NFL. Go ahead.
yeah, so that's the same thing that Gabby was saying. She was saying, and this was about basketball players going from high school to professional, and she was saying the same thing you saying that they're not mentally stable enough to be able to handle the responsibilities on that professional level. So you and Gabby is on the same page. Let me see. Jay says, "What age should a parent put their child in football?" Um, well, I
Oh
started my
man.
son off. I had to start my son off at 5 years old playing with the 6, 7, and 8 year olds because my son was so big, it would have been unfair for him to
Yeah,
play with his age group. And so my
for
son
sure.
always played an age group above his own. But what you think about that, coach?
Man, just how you hit it on with the concussion and stuff like that. Now, if I had a son, my son probably wouldn't play the football till he was probably about 10. The
Hmm
biggest thing is because I want my son to actually enjoy it. I would do different things, put him in soccer, develop. Well, first of all, I would put my son in track. That's the best
hmm
thing you can ever do for a kid. Put him in AU track, let him learn how to form run. If you learn anything or hear see anything about how kids or whatnot, a lot of NFL players they learn how to run and stuff like that. Like going to the NFL combine, if you get your kid in the track early, they're gonna learn how to form run, and that's half the battle because a lot of football players don't know how to run. A lot of football players don't have the skill sets and feet work and stuff like that as soccer players. So I
Yeah,
believe in. I will put my kid in track, put them in soccer, and then or stuff like that, baseball, different things like that, and then let them transition to the football
Yeah,
field.
yeah, we're gonna network, man. We're gonna get together and coordinate some stuff. Football season is coming up, so we definitely gonna be putting more highlight and shine on football. So yeah, we're gonna coordinate some more interviews and stuff like this, man. Because like I said, highlighting our people, man, is going to bring interest to a kid who never thought about coaching before, and that may be their thing. So anything that we can do to inspire, man, and that's what I'm going to do. Hey, I thank you for coming on, Coach, and everybody that's listening. I thank you for coming on today. Don't forget to go in there and smash up those likes, man, and hit that sub button. We're gonna be doing this all the time, getting these guys on here, and we're gonna bring the truth, the inside of what's going on with sports. So, Coach, I thank you, and everybody else. Like I always say, sticks and stones may break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.